Hello, and welcome to my presentation on one of the most foundational concepts in business today. We're going to be looking at strategy, specifically through the lens of Michael Porter's famous definition. Strategy is the creation of a unique and valuable position involving a different set of activities. We aren't just going to look at this as a textbook sentence, though. We're going to connect it to chapter 1 of our textbook and see how real companies, the ones we interact with every day, actually live out these principles to achieve long-term success. Before we begin, though, let's clear up a common mistake. Often, we think strategy is just about being the best or being the most efficient. But as we learned in our readings, and as Michael Porter argues, strategy is not the same as operational effectiveness. Operational effectiveness is just doing the same things as your rivals, only slightly better or faster. That's a race to the bottom because everyone eventually catches up. True strategy is about making hard choices and trade-offs. It's about choosing to do things differently or doing different things entirely. It's the difference between just surviving in a market and actually owning a piece of it for the long haul. To help us navigate this concept, I've broken today's presentation into 3 main parts. First, we're going to define what it actually means to be unique and valuable. Second, we'll dive into the concept of a different set of activities. This is the how behind the strategy. Finally, we'll wrap up by looking at why these ideas are so critical for managers today and how they lead to sustainable advantage. Let's start with that first piece, being unique. In a strategic context, unique doesn't just mean being different for the sake of being different. It means choosing a position that isn't already crowded by every other competitor. Porter emphasizes that you can't be everything to everyone. If you try to serve every customer, you end up serving no one particularly well. Being unique requires that courage to say no. It means picking a specific way to play and sticking to it, even if it means losing some customers who don't fit your model. It's about being the only one doing exactly what you do. Take Southwest Airlines as the classic example. Most airlines try to compete on luxury, hub and spoke models, and international reach. Southwest chose a unique position, the low-cost, point-to-point carrier. Think about what they don't do. They don't have assigned seating. They don't have fancy meals. They only fly one type of plane, the Boeing 737. This makes them incredibly unique. By not trying to be Delta or United, they carved out a spot for travelers who care more about price and reliability than a first-class lounge. They made a choice to be different, and that choice made them the most profitable airline in history. Now, you can be unique all you want, but if no one cares, it's not a strategy. It has to be valuable. Value is defined entirely by the customer. It's the answer to the question, why should I give you my money? This value usually comes in 2 forms. You either offer the same benefits as the others, but at a much lower cost. Or you offer unique benefits that people are willing to pay extra for. As our textbook points out, the manager's job is to ensure that the value of the firm creates is greater than the cost of creating it. If the gap doesn't exist, the firm will not survive. IKEA is a perfect example of creating a specific type of value. They recognized a group of customers, young families and students, who wanted stylish, modern furniture but could not afford a high-end designer. IKEA's value proposition is a trade-off. We do our part, you do yours, and together we save money. The customer gets valuable design and low prices, but they have to walk through the giant warehouse, pick up the boxes, and spend their Saturday morning putting the dresser or other furniture together. Because IKEA is so focused on this specific value, they can keep their costs lower than a traditional furniture store does. This brings us to the most important part of Porter's definition, the different set of activities. Activities are simply everything a company does, from how they hire people to how they ship products. Strategy is about choosing a chain of activities that are different from the competition. It's not just one thing, it's an entire system. When all these activities fit together and reinforce each other, it becomes almost impossible for a competitor to copy you. They might copy one piece, but they can't copy the whole system. Look at Amazon. Their strategy isn't just selling things online, it's a massive activity system. They have a Prime membership model that creates loyalty. That membership supports a huge fulfillment network. That network is powered by predictive data analytics that know what you want before you buy it. And finally, they have their own proprietary logistics, the vans you see in your neighborhood every day. Each of these activities leans on the other. If a competitor wants to be Amazon, they can't just build a website. They have to build that entire, expensive, complex system of activities. That is strategic differentiation at its best. So why does this matter for us as future managers? Because these different activities create barriers. When your activities fit together perfectly, it creates a sustainable advantage. It also forces trade-offs. You can't be a low-cost leader and a luxury provider at the same time. If you try to do both, you'll get stuck in the middle. As we saw in Chapter 1, successful firms are the ones that have a clear sense of identity and the discipline to stay the course even when the market gets noisy. To wrap things up, Porter's definition teaches us that strategy is about choice, not imitation. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're both unique and valuable to your customers. And most importantly, it's about building a set of activities that work together to protect that position. Our textbook reminds us that this isn't a one-time event. It's a long-term commitment. Without a unique position and a different set of activities, a company is just another face in the crowd. I'll leave you with this final thought. Strategy isn't about being the best at everything. It's about having the courage to be different at the right things. As we move forward, let's remember that the goal isn't just to work harder than our rivals, but to work smarter by choosing a path that only we can walk. Thank you for your time.